Hey gang, Mark Sweeney here from Austin Dental Spine, beautiful, very hot Austin, Texas. So if you've tuned in before, this is called Wisdom Wednesday. You know what it's all about. We do a little scientific journey down something having to do with dentistry or overall body health, but something that you can put to use the very next day. Today is no different. We're going to be talking about how foods can affect your mood. But first, we always have a motto every month or a theme, and the theme for July has been flying high in July. And we're not talking about getting in an airplane and flying. We're talking about the kind of flying like kicking it really good from a health standpoint and, you know, doing things that can make yourself live a healthier life. Today is going to be a perfect example of that. As you know, last week we talked about some similar things. So this week we're going to talk about foods and in your diet that can make you feel good or make you feel bad and why that can happen. Thank you all who voted for the Community Choice Awards. I mentioned this last week. We have subsequently found out we're in the top 3 in both categories, Best Dentist in Austin and Best Cosmetic Dental Practice in Austin. So thank you to all of you who voted for that 2-week period every day online. You put us in the winner's circle. We won't find out until September, mid-September, when they have a big gala at a hotel downtown. We'll find out who the winners were. But we're in it to win it. We're hoping to come home with at least one, if not both. In the 7 years they've done it, we've won both awards in a year twice. So, and always won at least one or the other. So, thank you again. So let's dig into today's subject, how a poor quality diet can make you feel sad. This was a one-of-a-kind study, and it only had 30 participants. It was done in England between a team in England and the Netherlands, but it's still, they've duplicated this in animals, but this was the first study in humans. And again, they only had 30 people, but despite that size, they took people with really poor quality diets, which apparently is not that hard to find over in Europe, where it stays cold and dark a good bit of the year. And then they contrasted that with some of the other participants, and they tried to get it about half and half of these 30 people. The other participant followed something close to the Mediterranean diet, which is promoted as one of the healthier diets for human beings, where there's a lot of good nutrients in the Mediterranean style diet. And so they found that the people who had the really poor diet actually felt worse on more of a regular basis. And when they studied their brain scans, they found that they had fewer neurotransmitters, particularly 2 of them. There's one neurotransmitter that's fairly well known and studied, going by the initials GABA, and there's another one called glutamate. So they studied those 2 neurotransmitters. What are neurotransmitters? Those are the things in your body that make the nerve responses travel down the nerves from one set of neurons to another. So I think they're amino acids. I have to go back to my physiology class for that. But the people with the poor diets had lower levels of these neurotransmitters that are very important for cognitive memory type things. They also had less gray matter total in the frontal cortex, which is where the thinking is done. So that's all because of diet. The people who followed a much healthier diet had no signs of any of this stuff. So the tendency to feel negative about things was more prevalent in the people with the poor diet also. So similar studies were done on animals that support these changes. They've done plenty of studies on rats and on dogs, unfortunately, about obesity and diets high in saturated fats. and they found that poor diets can disrupt the gut microbiome, which we talk about pretty consistently on Wisdom Wednesday. There's a microbiome in your gut that has bacteria, good and bad, funguses, a couple of other things mixed in that they actually are what help us digest our food. But the gut microbiome is where our immune system is stimulated from. So it's a pretty healthy part. And those neurotransmitters get generated there too. So it's important to have a healthier diet because of that. These changes in brain chemistry may lead to changes in the gray matter volume, which is what that study found, even though it was only on 30 people. So the neurotransmitters are functional because of things that are going on in your diet. So you don't want to see those get reduced. So careful what you eat out there. Try to eat a little healthier. See if it doesn't help you a little bit more with the cognitive issues in your life. Health tip, I always do a health tip, and this one is perfect for this time of the year. What 3 foods can you eat that actually help your body cool down? One of them I know is going to be a surprise. The first one, simple, cucumbers. Especially chilled cucumbers. They're 97% water. They have almost no sugar or refined carbohydrates. They have 0 refined carbohydrates, minimal sugar. So eating cucumbers, especially cool ones, will help you stay hydrated, almost as good as drinking water. Another one that I thought was a little bit surprising, cinnamon. Cinnamon is a spice that reduces the stomach temperature when you're digesting it. How that happens, I don't really know. This study didn't go into the mechanism of making it work. It just went into, it helps keep you cool from the inside. I know when I eat cinnamon, I feel it down there. I never really thought about it making me feel cooler, but that's what this study said. And number 3, I think you'll get a big surprise out of spicy foods. Thai, Vietnamese foods, Indian cuisine. The spices in the foods make you sweat. I know I've had a couple of habaneros that made me sweat underneath my eyes when they're the really good ones. So that sweating helps your body cool off. And so it's kind of artificially induced in hot foods, but it's supposedly works. So go bite into a jalapeno and try that theory out. The whole idea is to try to stay cool for the rest of the summer. So this is it for our episode of Wisdom Wednesday this week. I will look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday, same time, same place. In the meantime, stay cool.